Yeah.
I got like the humbleness here.
All right.
It's humble brag.
So let's make sure we can get both of you guys in here. So actually,
I remember Jackson.
all right. So if I can get you more that way and you slide in more this way. All right. You can get less of me and more of you guys. They see me all the time and they hear me all the time. Last thing they want to do is hear me. All right. All right, guys. Jim Bob's back here. I've got another team from Blitz with me. With me, I have
Shashi?
And Jordan.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us on the live stream tonight. So I'm just going to go through and ask a few questions for you.
Okay.
And if you could, just try to pronounce your voice as much as possible towards the mic, just because of all the background noise.
Okay.
All right. So, what does Blitz mean to both of you and your team?
Thank you. I'll go first for this question. Jordan, you want to go next for the next one?
Yeah.
Sure. So Dev Blitz for us, or for at least me, is two goals. One, it's being in the company of people who are really enthusiastic, really enjoying themselves, and are serious about making games. Two, it's a way for me to measure myself. Where am I? What have I learned? What can I contribute? Where do I need to be? And so far, it's been a really enjoyable experience. We've had a lot of laughs. Our team is coming together nicely, and I'm really excited about where we're going.
Very nice. Very nice.
I mostly agree with Sashi, and I also like to say that when dealing with myself, dealing with Death Blitz, and knowing my own limitations, I like to see that, and I like to gauge what my skills are and then what my role is, and apply it towards the teams itself, and see what I can do to make it more efficient and make it run better, to make a better game and make a more quality game, in total.
Right. Okay. So we've heard the criteria from J-Lu, the host of Blitz. He filled us in on what exactly you guys have for as options and what the goal is that you have to do. So tell us a little bit about your game specifically.
Well, our game is called Jordan's Company. It's not named. Well, it's not really named after me, but
TM? Is there a TM on that?
No,
Maybe.
it's totally named after.
Totally named after
I
me?
guess.
Okay.
But basically, it's a soldier trapped behind enemy lines, and he's going from the outskirts of the city towards the city to be able to get rescued and put a signal up so he can be picked up by a helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
So along the way, he has to snipe incoming enemies with his skill only, while the other enemies have multiple ammo, different guns, different weapon variations, and you're going to have to use platforming skills to also get the higher ground to use it towards your advantage.
Very nice.
One other thing that we wanted to add is we're not really sure what the final theme of the game is. Part of us wants to go serious and make it about a really war-torn society, and Jordan is desperately trying to get his way to freedom. And then we've also got a secondary idea where it's really just a movie. Jordan is convinced it's a World War II Saving Private Ryan type of movie, and he's going serious about it. But the extras aren't sure what they're doing, so it's turned out to be B Camp.
Wow.
And
nice.
one silly joke that we wanted to consider is in the second level of the game, right before the end, as the team would show up and just start arguing with each other, and the player would get to snipe all of us as we're arguing about the meaning of life.
That's kind of
So
sick
we're-
and twisted a little bit.
So
isn't
we're
it?
not sure which theme to go with,
Yeah,
but both of them offer
It has a little
advantages.
Spec Ops the line to it, kind of that dark, gritty story that people don't tell about the psyche of the actual soldier in war and what he goes through, because nobody really understands what goes in the mind of the soldier. We can always take it that serious route, and then we can just play around with it and throw little jokes in there and whatever.
Absolutely.
And just kind of lighten up a bit. So it's kind of like a hybrid of the two. So we're trying to make it lighthearted a little bit, but serious.
Very nice. Very nice. So how many levels are you looking at for putting into this game?
About
'Cause it sounds like a very in-depth game you got going
well,
on
for
here.
right now, we're gonna take our time and do 3 specific levels. The first one is basically guiding the player along to understand how to use our aiming mechanic, when to attack, when to dodge, because at the same time when you're shooting, you have to avoid enemy fire. And using the higher ground to your advantage gives you a much better view and much better vantage point to take your enemy down than being down below and getting bombarded by fire.
Right.
So the first level will basically take you through an easy, clear path and let you earn up to the game. And then as the levels progress, it gets more harder, and the levels will start to branch off in multiple ways, where you can take multiple routes, and you as a player decide, do you want the higher ground or do you want to challenge yourself and take the low ground and find ways to kill the enemy.
Options are very well for players enjoy having options when they're playing games.
Mm-hmm. One other thing we wanted to accomplish is because we're using Game Maker, we don't have a lot of room to play with facial features and that kind of psychological motivation. So what we wanted to do was, one, put the player under a lot of pressure, and two, simulate the sniper experience as much as possible. So to that end, we've limited the amount of ammunition you have.
Okay.
Basically, you have X number of bullets and no more. And our goal is to try and make it so that every single shot matters. It's not going to be unlimited ammunition where you can just sit there, line up a shot, and if you miss, oh well. The experience should be more about, okay, do I take the shot, miss, and maybe not have enough bullets to finish the level?
Yeah.
Or do I try and take a better shot but maybe get shot back in exchange?
Very good strategy.
And then the other tactic that we're working with, and we're not sure if we'll be able to implement, is basically using the left mouse button to simulate setting up the shot and holding your breath. Mm-hmm. While you're holding your breath, then use the right trigger to shoot.
Okay.
So it'd be a two-step process to simulate the sniper experience.
Okay.
And finally, we would make it so that the reload time takes a significant portion.
Yeah.
So that while you're waiting for your gun to reload, you have to avoid it.
And that's also the thing that adds on to difficulty. Your player, Jordan, has only a sniper rifle in his arsenal. Everybody else has a variety of weapons. You can only take one shot at a time, so every shot counts. So as you progress through the game, using that high ground and using that advantage will be smarter, but also you can take multiple routes and just challenge yourself, and that's the main goal of the game. Basically, players who want to venture out and do other things, they will be rewarded and finding that high ground. But people who just want to run through it and just be over with the game, they're gonna have a hard time. It's kind of like the first Castlevania.
It's Mario Hard.
Yeah.
Sounds like you guys got it underway.
Yeah.
So other than Game Maker, I heard you guys talk a little bit about that, and it seems to be the main engine that everybody's using tonight. What other tools are you going to use to help progress this so that you get it done within the 24-hour window?
Well, for right now, we're using the basics for audio, Audacity, Photoshop, a little bit of Flash coding.
But really, we're just tricking. We're actually, for right now, we're waiting for our art team to finish assembling assets. In the meantime, we're just using the sprite maker that Game Maker provides.
Yep.
And we're not because we don't have, because both Jordan and I are first semester students. We just don't have enough experience under our belt to get creative.
Right.
So we just want to stick to the basics and make the best game we can.
Right.
With the time limits that we have.
Exactly. So we really want to get the core mechanic down first before we branch out into our own creative freedoms or whatever, and then add that to the game later on. But we want to get the movement, aiming, fire, make shots, and hit detection feel right. Those core mechanics make the game playable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it takes that core mechanic right there to actually enjoy the game. Because if you have feathery and glitchy, mechanics, then it's unplayable, in my opinion. So
right.
Those core mechanics we have to put our time into, and then focus on the artwork and everything else. Everything else will flow in together once we have our core.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I think we have time for one more question. A general question that I've asked all the other teams that have jumped on the live stream with us. What kind of problems have you run into as of right now with the time that you've used to develop the game, and have they stopped you along the tracks? Have you overcome these issues? Is there anything that stands out to you right now that's just, really being a thorn in your side?
I actually think we've gotten really lucky. Our team is very well focused most of the time.
Careful now, you've still got a couple hours to go.
Exactly.
Not trying to jinx myself,
Knock on wood.
but we've got a really clear idea of what we're trying to accomplish. Our team is very well talented. Jordan and Wes have been phenomenal level design. Our artists are superb. I've kind of been holding my weight, I hope, but overall, so far, we haven't been struggling, and we're lucky for that point.
Yeah, there's been a few hiccups here and there, but what we do is basically find different solutions and just go around that. Try not to focus on it too much. If we have a problem with one thing, we try not to concentrate it that long. We'll just find multiple ways and just put it to a group vote, or find effective and efficient ways to actually implement it into the game, and then see if it works. If it doesn't, then we'll just trash it and try again.
Right.
So nothing's really stopped us, but we did have a few hiccups along the way. But everything else is going smoothly for right now. We have a creative team. We have a nice team. Everybody knows their role. Everybody has their own talent. So it's meshing well together. Once we add all the factors in, it should be a pretty good game.
Very good. Well, guys, I want to thank you for joining us on the stream.
Thank
and
you
I
so
wish
much,
you the
sir.
best of luck for the rest of the night. Hopefully the team will stick it out.
All right,
We
thank
hope
you.
so, too.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
guys.
Thank you, guys.
See you later.
So we'll be tuning in with them later, and all the